on women.
I know this may come as a very big surprise to many of you, but my life mission is not just to make women's butts look better. So I have a lot more ideas in my mind, and for whatever reason, I've known since I was a little girl that my personal legend is to help people, and in particular to help women. I have a passion for helping women in general, and the fact that it's the year 2004 and there's still women all over the planet that don't have the same sort of opportunity that I've been given is not right. So I am going to do all I can to help change that. I really, my motivation in helping women comes from all the stay-at-home moms, like my mom and my grandmother, that have dedicated their lives to having me believe in myself. And I want to expand myself for other people. And so here I am. It's a very tough crowd. I gave my speech from my heart. I feel good about it personally. I was fighting back emotion for most of the speech. As far as Sean goes, he's as capable as I am and as deserving as well as every single one of you here. I can tell you, if I had to come up with criteria in this game setting of why I hope you choose me over Sean, the only two things I came up with was that I'm the only one here that's not lost a challenge from the first day. And that standing here side by side with Sean, knowing how much, and I hope you guys recognize how much farther I had to step out of my comfort zone to be here.
You can do this, Sarah, come on.
You got the strength? How are you feeling?
I'm humbled before you guys, and thank you, and so, anyway.
The Sarah of 2 months ago was somebody who just had never done any major adventures in her life. Since then, she's done adventure after adventure after adventure, and she's confronted each one of those with tremendous bravery.
I'm standing in front of a bunch of poker faces. To have all these people who you've been competing against and who are, I'm sure are jealous of your situation, to be there critiquing your hopes and dreams is pretty nerve-wracking. For the last 8 weeks or so, I've heard Richard tell me at least a dozen times on different occasions that I'm big-headed and overconfident, cocky.
Sean, you're pretty cocky, pretty sure. You must be an entrepreneur. So tomorrow, whatever adventure there is, you're going on it.
I'm sure he's right.
I really do think that Sean has changed. I mean, Sean had a wake-up call the very first night that he very nearly got sent home.
So I continue to be my cocky self, and at this point, I'm supposed to stand here and tell you why I deserve to win. I deserve to win, Richard, because I want to win so bad my teeth hurt.
He says he wants it so bad his teeth hurt. You know what? That doesn't separate Sean from Sarah. Everyone wants it bad. Get in line.
I need to win. My little company, Lovesack, it's this simple, small, unthreatening little thing that everyone thinks is just this little beanbag company. And I can tell you that it's not. We will do things that no one expects. There will be Lovesack theaters, there will be Lovesack limos, there will be Lovesack lounges. It will happen. And we employ a few hundred people now, and we will employ thousands. Lovesack employs currently about 600 people, and I could do so much with the prize. I can make so many things happen for myself, but most importantly for people that work for me. And what it really, really, really comes down to is that those thousands of people, every single one of them have dreams. Everybody has a dream, and their dreams matter. They matter to them, they matter to their families, and their dreams are just as important or more so than mine.
When he figured out that everyone has a dream, that really touched me, and I was moved by it, that he says he has a profound respect for each human being.
I have what it takes because I have the love. It's real, and it's deep inside me, and that love has brought me this far. And that love has produced more loyalty and more productive output than any force on this planet. I'm just grateful to be here. I am so grateful for the opportunity. I cannot believe I've made it this far. And I'm so grateful for that. And all I ask is please, please, please do this with me. Help me build this thing, because it will make thousands of dreams come true, especially my own. Thank you so much. I put myself out there for Richard to see all of me. And I've been extremely honest with myself, been extremely honest with Richard, I've been extremely honest with the group. And in the end, that honesty will either win it for me or crucify me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, both of you obviously spoke with passion, spoke from your heart, and so thank you for that. As I think everybody here knows, we like to mix intellectual challenges with physical challenges. So if everybody could meet us down on the beach in 30 minutes in their bathing costumes, particularly you two, that'd be great.
Richard had me climbing the side of a hot air balloon on my very first day. I can only imagine what he has up his sleeve for me now.
You have questions?
We have the answers on GWN's Mystery Wednesday.
Which cop will be sacked?
Don't go behind my back.
We've got the answer. Wednesday, 8:30 on an all-new Blue Heelers.
Lots of shampoo, very little hair. What is this man hiding?
We've got the answer at 9:30 on New Border Security.
And what happened in the final hours of Columbine High?
At 10, see the home videos and piece together what really happened on 0 Hour. You want answers?
Blue Heelers, Border Security, 0 Hour.
On GWN's Mystery Wednesday.
Murchison Air deserves a better deal, a strong local voice. That strong local voice is Colin Brand. Born here, raised here, working here. With generational links to this huge region, Colin Brand knows how it was, how it is, and how it should be. Colin Brand wants more money made here, spent here. He wants families to come back. He opposes one vote, one value. The bush has been ignored and forgotten. Vote Colin Brand for a better deal. Authorised by Paul Everingham, Liberal Party, Perth.
Han Premium Light. Some drink it because they're responsible.
What?
Others just love the taste.
Holden Barina from $13,990 with air. The new Holden Barina from $13,990 with air. It's a price you can't get away from.
Experience the freedom Mackenzie's Island cruises.
Come with us and explore the beautiful islands of Esperance.
This is absolutely beautiful. Just love it.
VP Tarcoola, Geraldton's favourite 24-hour convenience store, have now opened their awesome new Go Fresh bar. Rolls pre-made or made to order, freshly squeezed juice while you wait, or try their refreshing fruit smoothies. And to celebrate, VP Tarcoola are offering 4 cents a litre off any fuel when you buy a coffee and muffin. What a deal! But it's for a limited time only, so rush into VP Tarcoola and go fresh!
I'll get you, VP Tarcoola.
G'day, I'm Tom Stevens. When I first came to live in the north in 1977, there were no STD phones, there was no television, schools and hospitals were under-resourced, and most roads were just gravel. I've worked hard for the people of the north for the last 26 years or more, and I've seen many changes that we've achieved together. My years of experience will help build a better educated, safer and healthier community.
Together, building a better future for regional WA.
Authorised by Jeff Gallop, ALP Perth.
If you didn't have a dad, you'd only have one person to look after you. I got the best dad in the world. If God didn't invent dads, mums couldn't have babies. He cares for me. He's special. My dad gives me lots of kisses and hugs.
Okay, to the physical challenge. It involves kite surfing and it involves sailing. You've never kite surfed before? You've never sailed before? We're in the middle of a tropical storm. By the end of this afternoon, I hope that you will be able to kite surf, and I hope that you will be able to sail. Because the first of you to get out to the little island on the reef and back will win this physical challenge. Okay, windy. We have the sailing boat, and we have the kite surf.
It's a really small boat, Richard.
Sean is going to sail to the reef and back while I kiteboard, and there's a tropical storm impending.
You see the reef out there?
Yeah?
First person to get to that reef
and come back.
And come back again.
And it's okay that it's a storm?
Look at this, look! I'm totally nervous. I've never even ridden on a sailboat ever. I've never touched one, in fact. Yeah, the boat's already falling over and it's not in the water. That's a bad sign.
It's definitely funny to see Sean sweating it out. This is the final challenge. And Sean is basically panicking.
Right, so you get a gentle feel. You pull gently on the right, gently left. Woo! Now with me sitting here, can the boat tip over still? Yeah. Even with my weight here? Yeah. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
I'm looking at the wind, a hurricane is brewing. I'm thinking, how am I gonna make this happen? I need to win, and so I figure a way to do that. I'm gonna jump on your back.
You
Is
sure?
that all right?
Why, what's
Is that cool? Because Richard said that I can get there and back however I want, and I want to jump on your back. I don't want to do this. It's too windy. Are you cool with that?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Oh my God, okay, we're up.
Let's just hit it.
Oh my God. I gotta get onto you in the water, right? Okay. Tell me when.
Okay, they're off.
What are we doing to prevent tragedy if another tsunami strikes? A World Around Us special presentation, Science of Waves, tonight 6:30.
Introducing the new Superpowers of Harvesting for 2005. The all-new John Deere 60 Series Combines. More capacity, even more power. More control, better threshing, and improved cleaning. High-speed unloading and optional auto-track ready. This sensational new lineup is led by the mighty Class 8 9860. The largest, most productive harvester John Deere has ever built. And the best news of all, John Deere's early order program is on now. See your dealer today.
Northside Mitsubishi is clearing all 2004 stocks. Farmer's Triton Turbo Diesel with free tray and free air, only $22,990. Colt 5-door hatch auto with free on-road costs, only $18,990. Drive away, no more to pay. Save thousands of dollars on Magna all-wheel drive. Enhanced by safety and performance, only $27,990. Test drive Pajero, the king of the desert, the four-wheel drive champion, from $39,990. Only at Northside Mitsubishi Albany.
CDA's bargain laptop sale is on now. This laptop, just $599, comes complete with CD-ROM, floppy drive, modem, carry case, software, and a digital camera. This complete package deal, an amazing $799 with speakers, CDRW, CD burner, floppy drive, modem, carry case, software, and a digital camera. Order now and receive a bonus color printer and 6 months internet access. Check, money order, credit card, lay-by, COD. CDA. Call 1-300-300-499 and order now.
It's Geraldton's first ever boat and fishing show, and it's on the water at the Batavia Coast Marina. Boats, fishing and camping gear, boating accessories, holidays. See the Aquatank Telstra Countrywide Fishing Show, plus it's a crayfish festival with seafood cooking demonstrations, loads of seafood to eat, and fireworks. The GWN Batavia Coast Marina Boat and Fishing Show, Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th of February. Proudly supported by the Geraldton Guardian, 96.5 and 98 FM.
They've all had a dance, but only one can win. And it's time for one of them to face the music. Which star will go? Dancing with the Stars, Tuesday, 7:30.
In that case, I volunteer.
Deal or No Deal's back with new episodes, new prizes, and for the first time, you can play along at home. Catch the new series weekdays on GWN.
Some of my friends have part-time jobs, just normal jobs. When I tell them about my part-time job, they can't believe it. Sometimes I can't believe it myself. My name's Chris Daly. I'm a rifleman in the Army Reserve. I'm getting fit, but it's more than just having fun. I'm learning things you'd never experience in a normal job. And I'm learning a lot about myself too.
So much to see and do in WA. Where do you start? Visitor centres can make a good trip great. Call now to find out more information about tours, accommodation and everything in between. WA Visitor Centres make a great start.
Poinsettias and chrysanthemums need to be fertilised at this time. Hydrangea vitamin.
Your choice of private hospital and doctor. No lengthy waiting periods. Are you with HBF?
When you want to escape, we're here for you. Shut the world out. Or join them in style. Quest Yelverton Kalgoorlie. We're waiting for you.
It's Geraldton's first ever boat and fishing show, and it's on the water at the Batavia Coast Marina. Boats, fishing and camping gear, boating accessories, holidays. See the Aquatank Telstra Countrywide Fishing Show, plus it's a crayfish festival with seafood cooking demonstrations, loads of seafood to eat, and fireworks. The GWN Batavia Coast Marina Boat and Fishing Show, Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th of February. Proudly supported by the Geraldton Guardian, 96.5 and 98 FM.
Buying a car? Westland Autos will cut you the best deal in the state. Designed and built in Germany, the 3-door LX Ford Fiesta is loaded with features and great value at $13,990. The new Ford Focus hatch offers outstanding value for money at $19,980 drive away. And with $6,000 of extras provided free, the Ford SR Mark II and Classic are exceptional value. Westland Autos, your local mate in the business.
Jay-Z, Linkin Park. A groundbreaking collaboration. Collision Course. In store now.
My name's Chris Daly. I'm a rifleman in the Army Reserve. But I also play football. That's the great thing about the Army Reserve. It's great part-time work that fits around your life. It's a pretty awesome job.
Experience IMAX Theatre in your home with the multi-million-dollar production Amazon. IMAX Home Theatre, Sunday 6:30.
Joey coming in February to win.
Every day is like a race, so you need to feel 100%. Centrum can help. With Centrum, you benefit from what science is discovering about how vitamins and minerals help maintain your health and unlock energy. Try Centrum. Do you feel 100%?
Are you tired of working out at home? Too many distractions? Not getting the results you're looking for? Then you need to speak to the team at Inspired Life. Inspired Life, Kalgoorlie's premier health club.
Ladies, please.
Chill, Bill.
There's enough for me for everyone. Now let's chill. Chillin'.
Chill Bill. License to chill.
do it again.
Inspired Life, Kalgoorlie's premier health club.
This factory's been producing Australian-made cars for 40 years. We have a proud history of innovation and industry firsts in this country, and I'm proud to be part of it. We were the first Australian-built all-wheel drive sedan. We were the first to put 4 airbags in the standard family car. We built the first locally made V6 engine. And now we have a new first, Australia's best new car warranty. 5 years bumper to bumper and 10 years on engine and transmission. We were there first. Perhaps one day they'll catch up, but at this stage we are leading the way. So you can find a better built, better backed car anywhere than buy it.
It's time to get your new 9020 series tractor from John Deere. More power than ever before. Optional 18-speed automatic power shift. Exclusive active seat technology. More wheel options. Implement management system. Exclusive touch set hydraulics. Optional auto track. There's 10 big models in wheels and tracks. The incredible 9020 series four-wheel drives. See your John Deere dealer today.
I have a business side that I feel is a reason for bringing you in, because from a production standpoint, I thought that we missed.
Ray is the most acclaimed film of the year. It's a portrait of a genius painted in music. Director Taylor Hackford and star Jamie Foxx hit all the right notes. It's electrifying and inspiring, scorching and superb.
You're gonna have to make it work, Ray. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. Yeah.
And now, Ray is the winner of Golden Globe nominations for Best Actor, Jamie Foxx. Ray.
Now showing at Arana Cinemas, Albany and Geraldton.
Red FM presents The Guide. The Good Earth Hotel Perth, located in the heart of the city. A self-contained studio apartment for two, just $90 per night. Includes full buffet breakfast and parking. Family rooms also available. Book the Good Earth Hotel now. Comfort Inn and Suites, West Beach Lagoon, Scarborough. Summer's here, so book a fun holiday apartment on the beach. Just $115 per night and kids stay free. Comfort Inn and Suites, West Beach Lagoon. Book now. Sorrento Beach Resort. Uninterrupted ocean views. Get away to Perth. Stay 2 nights and get the 3rd night free. That's 2 nights and the 3rd free. Summer holidays at the Sorrento Beach Resort. Book now. The King's Perth Hotel in the heart of the city. Spacious rooms, restaurant and lounge bar. 2-minute walk to malls and arcades. Holiday in Perth for just $79 per room per night. The King's Perth Hotel. Real value. The Guide, presented by Red FM.
George, what do you think?
Well, I think that if I looked in the dictionary and I saw a definition of loose cannon, I'd see Danny's face. Notwithstanding that, he's not the reason they lost the task. The reason they lost the task is plain and simple, is that
From National 9 News, this is Nightline with Helen Kapelos.
Canberra resists calls for a public inquiry into the treatment of Cornelia Rao. Reserve Bank warns interest rates are likely to rise. Mother of 8 suing over a surprise birth. Good evening. Federal Immigration Minister Amanda Vanstone says it's unlikely there will be a public inquiry into how a mentally ill Australian woman was locked up as an illegal immigrant. 39-year-old Cornelia Rao was imprisoned for 10 months in South Australia's Baxter Centre. But the minister says the circumstances of her detention are not likely to warrant the scrutiny of a public hearing.
And how
With her department under attack, Amanda Vanstone today finally mounted her defence of the Row scandal.
And it was a desperately difficult task to find out who she was.
It was a media blitz after a weekend of saying no to all requests for interviews.
I can assure you the Australian government doesn't want this to happen again. We do want to find out what went wrong.
The minister claims Cornelia Rao had been assessed by psychiatrists in Baxter who were unsure how to treat her. In the meantime, the 39-year-old was locked in isolation for 20 hours a day.
If she went out, it took on occasions 4 guards in riot gear to be able to get her back into the room.
Advocate Jonathan Harley first heard about the plight of Cornelia in December and was planning legal action in an attempt to gain access to her. Even the South Australian government ran into brick walls. Since late last month, the state's mental health director had tried unsuccessfully to have the woman reassessed.
I was concerned about one thing and one thing only, and that was the possible mental health problems suffered by this person.
The federal government is considering what type of inquiry will investigate the case. Cornelia Rao's family insists it has to be independent.
Above all, an honest inquiry. Let's just see what comes to light and let's move on and try and initiate some reforms perhaps from it.
Well, I'm certain it has to be independent. I'm certain it has to have cooperation of all of those jurisdictions to really be effective. I'm not certain that it's appropriate to have the inquiry public, although clearly the public are entitled to know the outcome of the inquiry.
Doesn't it? Damien Ryan for Nightline.
After being put on hold for more than a year, the Reserve Bank has indicated interest rates could soon be on the rise again. That's prompted the Labor Party to accuse the government of lying during the election campaign. But Treasurer Peter Costello says a rise can be avoided if there's further industrial relations reform.
The Treasurer was pleased by the turn-up at his Canberra news conference.
Feeling loved again.
But he may not be loved by home and business borrowers if fears expressed by the Reserve Bank today prove well-founded. In its quarterly statement on monetary policy, the Reserve said the likelihood of interest rate rises being required in the months ahead had increased.
There's a clear signal in this report that interest rates are on the way up.
But according to Peter Costello, the pressure on interest rates would come from wage increases that are not based on productivity.
We can manage these expectations with a round of reform in industrial relations.
The Prime Minister made it clear yesterday that the government plans radical industrial relations reforms when it gains control of the Senate in July. According to Labor, any rate rise would mean the government lied in last October's election campaign.
But they claimed that they had a set of policies which would stop interest rates moving upwards. Quite clearly, the Reserve thinks the opposite.
The key labour market reform being considered by the government is a complete federal takeover of state industrial relations powers. The unions are up in arms.
We won't go down without a fight, but what's more is we've never been beaten and we're not going to start losing now.
But employer groups are enthusiastically backing the government.
We don't need 6 different systems in this country.
Laurie Oakes for Nightline.
A Melbourne committal hearing has been told a man charged with murdering his former lover was depressed over the breakup of their relationship and her decision to abort their baby. Pisi Prasua is alleged to have shot dead the woman after lying in wait at her eastern suburbs home.
Pisi Prasua's personality changed for the better, according to friends, when the security guard began an affair with his married workmate Anita Pokapian in May 2003. But the then 22-year-old's family had misgivings, with sister Vaughan telling her brother, "She's married and she's got a kid. I wasn't too impressed by that." Friend Philip Camilleri too was concerned. "I was worried he might be setting himself up for a hard break. I really didn't want him to get hurt." Mrs. Pokapian was shot in the head and chest as she sat in her car in the driveway of her Chadstone home last April. By that time, the 30-year-old's affair with the younger lover had cooled, despite the fact she'd fallen pregnant to him the year before her alleged murder. That pregnancy was terminated on the 19th of September 2003, Prasua's 22nd birthday. Several of his friends told the court how upset he'd become because he had no knowledge of the pregnancy nor was consulted before the abortion. Conrad Tracy told the committal hearing that his close friend was prepared to support Mrs. Pokapian and their child, but her decision to end the relationship seemed like a fairly cold thing to do. She did a backflip in terms of her commitment. The court was also told the accused had attempted suicide on the evening of the alleged murder. Nick Coe for Nightline.
A Brisbane mother of 8 is suing the Queensland government over the birth of her last child after a failed sterilisation procedure. Kerry Moore fell pregnant within a year of having the operation, and now she's claiming negligence.
Kerry Moore is the mother of one very big, happy family. After she had child number 7, she decided that was enough and underwent a sterilisation procedure at Redland Hospital. The doctor used filshy clips to close her fallopian tubes, but within a year, Mrs. Moore fell pregnant with child number 8. Son Jai was born in October 2002. Mrs. Moore's counsel argued that this was not an immaculate conception, that the filshy clip had been put in the wrong place and had not fully closed the fallopian tube. A note from the doctor at the time stated he had not put it in the usual place. It had been placed on a wider section of the tube rather than the narrowest. However, the head of the obstetrics unit at the Redland Hospital said when he inspected the clips after the child was born, he believed the tubes were closed. I was in no doubt they were correctly done. But another expert said that the positioning of the clips meant there was a significant increase in the risk of Mrs. Moore falling pregnant. The judge was told that 2 to 3 cases in every 1,000 sterilisations does fail for whatever reason, and women should be warned. The trial is continuing. Jane Hodgkinson for Nightline.
The South Australian government has been praised for its decision to provide millions of dollars in land tax relief. It will be a reprieve for more than 120,000 residents for whom the controversial charges have soared in recent years.
Side by side, the Premier and Treasurer attempted to sell their land tax relief package, aimed at quelling growing unrest.
So I'm delighted to be able to tell you that 44,000 South Australians won't be receiving their land tax bill now, and of course an extra 77,000 now have land tax relief.
The property investors, shack owners and small business operators had been hit with skyrocketing bills caused by the real estate boom. In all, the government says it will deliver $245 million in cuts over the next 4 years, after earlier dismissing calls for relief.
It's a massive back down for the Rand government, and it's a huge embarrassment personally for Treasurer Foley.
The government wary of the growing backlash in its vulnerable, affluent electorates.
And I think probably in the state's history, this has never occurred before, that we will be returning as a government cash rebates to tens of thousands of South Australians.
$20 million will be spent on rebates for those who have already paid their land tax this financial year. Then, from July the 1st, a property will need to be worth $100,000 to be taxed, up from the current $50,000. The change is cautiously welcomed by those who lobbied for the change.
It's a move in the right direction, but whether it goes far enough is yet to be seen.
James Wakeland for Nightline.
Now to the West Australian election campaign. An opposition leader, Colin Barnett, has promised to steadily cut taxes across the board if he wins the February 26 poll. But industry groups are concerned about the affordability of the coalition's promise.
The man who would be Premier used a promise of tax cuts in stamp duty, payroll and land tax to win over the crowd.
And will be continuous across-the-board reductions in rates of tax.
But by how much and where will be up to a tax review panel, which he'll set up within 3 months.
I would hope it would have time to have an input into our first budget.
With 3 weeks of election promises to go, industry groups are hesitant.
This is one of the reasons why we're concerned to see the numbers to make sure they are actually sustainable and deliverable.
Mr Barnett will remove stamp duty on the GST component of insurance premiums worth $20 million, remove land tax on certain family homes held in trust, on top of a cut in stamp duty on car sales. He says he'll slash government spending by $80 million a year, cut the Premier's department budget by $20 million, advertising by $5 million and legislate new standards, and save $180 more million by changing the way government does business. But it wasn't enough to cloud concern over that $2 billion canal, Mr Barnett holding firm despite the company behind the project insisting on a feasibility study first.
So trust me, we're going to do it.
But political analysts say that could be his undoing.
That could become his version of Medicare Gold if he's not able to provide more details and costings before election day.
Labor again hauled out its spendometer, accusing Mr Barnett of a $9 billion spending spree that could cost key services. The Premier was spending money too, back in his hometown of Geraldton and back at his old school, to announce an extra $19 million for school computers, $10 million on teacher training.
The whole idea is to make sure each one of our students has the skills and the capacities needed to succeed in our modern economy.
And Lady Luck may well be on the Premier's side, with national betting agency Centrebet showing Labor firming as favourite to win the election. Nadi Mitsopoulos reporting for Nightline.
Final exams for high school students are likely to become more difficult, with claims that questions are so easy it's almost impossible to fail. The federal government wants to introduce a tougher and uniform system Australia-wide.
The arithmetic's not too bad, despite 8 different state education systems. It's the reading and writing that's the problem.
Many of us are sick and tired of employing university graduates who are struggling with basic grammar and spelling. How is it that 99% of students can pass an English test? If you believe that, I think you still believe in the tooth fairy.
He wants one national standard high school graduation exam system, and both he and the employers want the bar raised dramatically.
There's a concern about the whole literacy, numeracy, capacity to do things you would ordinarily have expected people to be able to do coming out of the education system.
State education officials say international surveys paint New South Wales in a very different light.
New South Wales students performed second only to Finland in literacy. There were 41 countries that were studied.
We don't have a system where we're emphasising pass or fail. What we're emphasising is the fact that there are a range of skills achieved by students.
The critics say that's the problem. Skill achievement levels are simply too low or they're inappropriate. Teachers disagree and suspect that Brendan Nelson's campaign is driven by politics and ideology.
What Brendan Nelson is doing is more about undermining confidence in the public education system.
Peter Harvey for Nightline.
At least 2 men will face court later this month, charged over a violent incident which erupted during an alleged drag race in Sydney's inner west. The trouble began when police responded to a car accident in an industrial estate.
An out-of-control Datsun slammed into a parked car and a group of spectators just before midnight. But what should have been a routine emergency became chaos.
You better move, mate. There's a bit of a fight going on.
As police clashed with street racers and spectators, including one man trying to help his injured brother.
He's just losing his mind. Don't touch me, I want to see my brother. And then they've maced him and put him on the ground.
It was the legitimate attempts by police to secure the area as a crime scene, which led to the aggravation.
One officer was punched in the jaw, and cameramen attacked and threatened as paramedics tried to treat the injured driver and 6 others for serious cuts and broken bones.
I was lucky, I would have lost my legs.
A young woman was pinned beneath the parked car.
All I remember is looking left, headlights, and then I remember them lifting me up.
50 blokes lifting the car up to get her out.
Police say little can be done to stop the drag racing in the wide, deserted streets of industrial areas.
And in a short period of time, with mobile phones and SMS, they can gather together a crowd.
And last night it took one of their own to send them scattering. Adam Walters reporting for Nightline.
A Sydney fire officer could be sacked after allegedly using the station's fire truck to pick up a pizza. He's also accused of giving his mates a joyride when the vehicle was needed to fight a fire.
It seems if you live in Maroubra and need a fireman, try not to call around lunch or dinner. Earlier last month, a local fireman took the station's fire engine to get a pizza, and he did it without telling his superior. An incident almost comical if it weren't for the potential consequences.
This is not a case of the company being used to go down the road to pick up the lunches. This was a fire truck and somebody could have died.
At one stage, radio headquarters contacted the firefighter and asked him to respond to an alarm. He called back and said he was on his way. In fact, the allegation is that he was out joyriding with mates as the rest of his fire crew waited at the station. The firefighter has been suspended on full pay while an investigation is held. He's facing dismissal.
This is extremely rare. I mean that I would say that this incident is unheard of in the New South Wales Fire Brigades in regards to utilising fire appliances in an inappropriate manner.
But the officer who blew the whistle says it has happened before at Piermont.
There's only one action, sacking.
Mark Burrows for Nightline.
The Vatican says the Pope will remain in hospital until Friday, when a decision will be made on whether he's ready to be released. The Pontiff is now eating regular meals and is able to sit up as his condition improves. Yesterday, the 84-year-old made his first public appearance from his Rome hospital window, hoping to reassure the Catholic faithful. The 10-minute service was screened in St Peter's Square as John Paul struggled through a brief blessing.
He spoke 12 words. 11 were the blessing, 1 was a thank you. One wonders how long it will take him to come through.
The Pope was rushed to hospital last Wednesday with a severe throat infection. The people of the Cook Islands are counting their blessings after they were spared the full force of Cyclone Mina. The storm crashed through the centre of the main island, bringing high winds and massive waves. But although it damaged buildings and trees, it seems no one was hurt. America's new Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, has arrived in Ramallah for talks with new Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. Earlier, she met with Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon as part of the renewed push by Washington for peace in the Middle East. After 4 years of violence, the first full-fledged summit meeting between Israeli and Palestinian leaders is due to take place in Egypt on Wednesday. Thailand's Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has made history with a landslide victory in his general election. With more than half the votes counted, the Prime Minister's party has already won 371 of the 500 parliamentary seats. The result will allow Shinawatra to form a government without the need for coalition partners, an unprecedented situation in Thai politics. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is continuing to put on a spectacular show, with its lava once again reaching the ocean. The world's largest volcano has been erupting almost constantly since 1983. The tourist town of Phuket in Thailand is gradually getting back to business. A Current Affairs' David Margan looks at the rebuilding process and how foreign volunteers are playing their part in the clean-up.
Australia's ambassador to Thailand, Bill Patterson, has lived and breathed the tsunami and the gloom of its devastation for over a month. But now things are changing.
It's also a Buddhist country. It tends to put the past behind it and move on fairly quickly after a disaster of this kind.
Already much of the wreckage has been removed and the resort land graded. And at Patong Beach, new umbrellas and lounges lie waiting.
Everybody said stay away, but the guy here is beautiful.
Many shorefront businesses have already been rebuilt and reopened, even if business is still in a state of shock.
Come, definitely, and support them. They really need the money.
Not only money, but helping hands. And skills may be handy, but not essential. This boy from Arizona was travelling in Laos when he heard of the tragedy.
29 hours on a bus, and here I am.
I just saw on television the disaster, and I wanted to come and help.
Natalie has come all the way from a down bed in the grey skies of Brussels to the ferocious heat of the equator to sleep on a floor.
I have a husband and 3 children.
And you've just left them behind?
My husband told me, if you want to go, you go, and I take care of the children, so I came. And people are so friendly. Thai people are so friendly. We can't do anything else that help them.
Thai and foreign volunteers, backed by money raised in Australia by World Vision, are first building emergency housing, then more permanent dwellings to house 450 villagers from the fishing village of Nanpen.
Something just tells you got to get out there and do something.
Now this is Watchala, who is one of the community leaders in this village, which was one of the largest fishing villages perhaps in all of Thailand. Behind where he stands once stood hundreds of houses, a fish market and a lobster processing plant. Seafood from this village was exported to the world. Now there is nothing.
Most people have disappeared.
Of 400 primary school kids, only 100 are still with us.
He's lost his mother, he's lost his sister. He doesn't want to sit around thinking. He wants to get busy. He wants to get working again right here. The government is helping us a little bit, but it's not as fast as we'd like. And we need volunteers. We need more people to come here and help us.
For Mick Travers and his body identification colleagues from the Australian Federal Police, the past month has been a blur.
Look, it's incomparable to where we've come in just over a month. Has been absolutely incredible.
Joint Chief of Staff Julian Slater.
What do they like about us? I think they like the fact that we are able to get in there and get the job done. You know, we don't talk, we just get in and do the job.
Ahead on Nightline, Victorian police get some outside help in their fight against crime. And the car government's backflip over train timetables.
Go Harvey Norman for digital photo printing at a low 33 cents for 6x4 photos. Capture those magical moments on your digital camera. Go to your nearest Harvey Norman store, place your digital media card in our easy-to-use digital processing centre, follow the simple instructions. Great quality 6x4 prints for just 33 cents per print. That's right, just 33 cents. Harvey Norman, your digital camera and processing specialist.
Go Harvey, go Harvey Norman, go!
In recent months, we've spent over $200 million upgrading our plant. But you need more than components and machines to make a quality car.
But you come in on a Monday morning at 7:30 and the place is just abuzz with activity and people using their skills in the best way.
You need passionate people with a great pride in what they do.
It's part of my life and part of my soul, I suppose.
Compared to other manufacturers in Australia, I mean, I think we build the best quality vehicle in Australia.
You can see their dedication, their enthusiasm for what they do. They love the car.
The car is the best built car in Australia, as far as I'm concerned.
And that's why we can now offer Australia's best new car warranty. If you can find a better built, better backed car anywhere, then buy it.
You could get your hands on up to $80,000 instantly with Cashed Up, the new ticket from Scratch and Win.
The Victorian Police Force has enlisted outside help to deal with the ongoing gangland war. They've brought in a consultancy firm as part of a major internal review, but the move has been slammed by the Police Association.
According to Victoria's top detective, criminals these days are into multi-skilling.
An armed robber tended to be an armed robber, but now increasingly we see they're an armed robber, they're a drug dealer, they're a fraudster, they're into identity theft.
In particular, the gangland wars have forced a rethink on whether specialised major crime squads such as homicide and armed robbery should be revamped or even reduced in favour of a broader approach.
So we're starting with a clean sheet of paper and saying if we were setting such an operation up now, how would we do it?
In a more corporate look at crime fighting, the Boston Consulting Group has been brought in to bring private enterprise techniques.
The Collins Street firm isn't commenting on its new role, but the appointment does seem slightly unusual given its historic client base has more to do with the business world than the underworld.
But the Police Association says the budget for the crime department overhaul could be better spent.
On a across the force look at resource allocation rather than just one department.
Meantime, Judith Moran, who lost her husband and 2 sons in the gangland killings, has come out swinging over Simon Overland's claim she's profiting from crime with her autobiography.
The crime matriarch they've made me out to be, I live the most humble life. If I'm a crime matriarch, where's my superannuation? Because I've just turned 60.
Brett McLeod for Nightline.
The New South Wales government has been forced to make major changes to its controversial new train timetable. In the face of a commuter backlash, up to 2,000 changes have been made to the schedule, which is due to be introduced later this year.
If the government's hoping its new train timetable will temper commuter anger, the initial response from those who use the rail network has been far from positive.
Over 85% of the responses were critical.
When the government sought public comment, more than 2,000 people had their say.
On-time running, station skipping, cancelled services. This is what is causing people grave concern.
Concerns that have prompted up to 2,000 changes to the timetable affecting 55 services, including more trains in the afternoon peak, retaining some key express services and extra stops at selected stations. The opposition says the government should now abandon the new timetable and make the existing one work.
Why can't John Watkins, a new minister, take this system, shake it up and make it work? It's worked in the past. If it could work during the Olympics, why can't it work properly now?
More than 300 new drivers will start over the next few months. The new timetable itself takes effect from September, and already the government's softening up commuters, warning that not everyone will be satisfied. It won't provide every service that every member of the travelling public wants. Nigel Blunden reporting for Nightline.
A 68-year-old Queensland farmer is recovering in a Brisbane hospital tonight after surgery to remove a wooden stake from his neck. The man was herding a cow into cattle yards at his farm near Bundaberg when it kicked the post, which splintered and pierced his neck just below the windpipe, puncturing his lung. A new health study is cause for both comfort and alarm. It's found that nearly all sudden infant deaths in New South Wales are preventable, with dozens of babies still dying every year, though it seems some parents aren't getting the message about how to avoid tragedy.
Rates have dropped due to warning campaigns, but the syndrome still claimed 186 tiny lives during the latest 3-year survey, and experts believe most could have been prevented after finding 60% were sleeping with a pillow or their head covered, 58% were exposed to cigarette smoke, 41% were sleeping in unsafe positions on their face or side.
These statistics are worrying. The parents either don't know this information or don't understand how important the safe sleeping messages are.
The government has ordered a review, but SIDS and Kids, which has tirelessly raised awareness of cot death with its Red Nose Day, says the causes are already known. The solution?
We need to come together as one voice, and we need the funds, the money to get out there and make sure people know the message, not only in the cities but in the rural areas as well.
The report also found major gaps in the response that follows the sudden unexpected death of an infant, often with police and health workers having to perform tasks they're not trained to do.
There are internationally recognised protocols for investigating deaths of these sort, and we think New South Wales should adopt them.
To save lives, parents are reminded to
sleep your baby on their back, make sure their face is uncovered and a smoke-free environment.
Cheryl Taylor for Nightline.
Now to finance, where the National Australia Bank has confirmed its commitment to growing its financial businesses in the United Kingdom. With the details, Oriel Morrison.
The National Australia Bank has told investors that it believes its British banks, the Clydesdale and Yorkshire banks, have strong potential. But it says it still needs to strip back their operations to try to save costs and improve profitability over the next 2 to 3 years.
If there was an acquisition that would help us get there more quickly, so if there was something there that said if we do that, something that's going to take us 2 or 3 years, maybe we can do it in a year, then we'd be interested.
A warning today for Australian homeowners. The Reserve Bank saying the chances of an interest rate hike in the months ahead have increased. In its quarterly statement on monetary policy, the central bank has pointed to early signs of a pickup in inflation. But it says the economy is likely to continue growing at a good pace, so no move is expected until more evidence has emerged.
They've been stable for 14 months and they are at lows. And it's important that we as a country continue to run an economy which grows and produces more jobs, but produces it in a sustainable.
Overall, it's been a much stronger end to the day's trading at the start of the week. Shares in News Corp have ended higher and there was strength in the oil sector. But the National Australia Bank has lost ground after its strategy briefing, and National Foods is lower after New Zealand exporter Fonterra Cooperative extended its takeover bid. And that's a day's local finance news.
Nightline sports news coming up after the break, including injury problems for Australia's cricketers, horse racing's betting scandal, and America's Super Bowl spectacular.
You've seen TV shows where a house gets a makeover, change the colour scheme, spruce up the garden. Well, this show's a little different.
Come on, guys!
Make that a lot.
3, 2, 1.
For the first time on Australian television, we're gonna blow up a house.
Renovate or detonate.
All the faces you know in a massive $500,000 makeover. Renovate or detonate. Tuesday, 7:30 on Win.
To sport now, and Australia's cricket team for the upcoming tour of New Zealand will be named on Wednesday, but already Shane Watson has virtually ruled himself out of contention with an injury, with fellow all-rounder Andrew Symonds also in doubt. The Australians go into the series on a high after completing a clean sweep against Pakistan at the SCG last night.
A clean sweep of trophies to complete the Australian summer. In the victors' rooms, combatants became comrades, other inner sanctum guests, budding fast bowlers. But the old man of Australia's attack did the most damage. Another 5-wicket haul earning man of the match. Soon 35, Glenn McGrath's convinced his career twilight looks rosy.
I feel I'm bowling as well as I ever have. The body's pulling up and feels great every day. And I can't remember feeling this good for years.
Man of the series, Brett Lee, a tournament tally of 16 wickets. The one-day spearhead more eager than ever to regain a test spot.
Finally got my left ankle right, there's no pain there, and to bowl without any pain or any sort of discomfort was just the most amazing feeling.
Plenty of celebrations, but not much rest for our successful cricketers. In 10 days' time, they're off on a 5-week tour of New Zealand. Andrew McKinlay for Nightline.
Still on cricket, and Shane Warne is on his way to Sri Lanka to play a part in the tsunami relief effort. Warne's charity is helping to build a new village near the nation's famous Galle cricket ground.
Almost exactly a year after Shane Warne resurrected his career in Sri Lanka with a 10-wicket haul, including number 500 at the historic, now devastated Galle ground by the sea, he's going back to help the locals reclaim their lives, in cooperation with their favourite son, Matthias Muralidharan.
Murali said he can buy some land over there, and through my foundation and friends of our foundation, hopefully we've got a fair bit of money to donate to build a village over there as well, because there's a few people over there, speaking to Murali, that are scared to live back there because of what might happen again.
Warne will also meet with a Melbourne medical team taking vital equipment paid for by Burundara residents to help with still pressing medical needs.
We're going to visit some hospitals, some of the surgeons that have helped me over the years with my shoulders that are over there now with over $1 million worth of equipment. So I'm catching up with them.
Finally, as well as raising money, Warne is there to raise morale, especially among the young.
One of the things is to try and put some smile on some kids' faces. It's obviously a very emotional time for them.
This is literally a flying visit for Shane Warne. He's due back in Australia on Friday for a crucial ING one-day game against New South Wales in Sydney this weekend. Charles Slade for Nightline.
To AFL now, where Collingwood officials are assessing the seriousness of an injury to Nathan Buckley. The Pies skipper has more problems with his hamstring, which will rule him out of the upcoming Wizard Cup. But Buckley is remaining tight-lipped about the extent of his injury.
At this stage, I know how to look at him, but I don't know how to read him.
An inquiry into Queensland's racing industry has heard more allegations that some local bookmakers are involved in betting rackets. The inquiry began public hearings in Brisbane today and will report its findings to the state's racing minister at the end of next month.
Racing's always had its dirty laundry, and this inquiry's meant to air it. Commissioners Martin Daubney and Tony Rafter today made their inquiry public, a bevy of lawyers eagerly jostling for limited seats. Counsel assisting Ralph Devlin set the scene, noting he couldn't imagine a sporting industry more subject to rumour and innuendo. It was a low day for lovers of the sport.
Racing is a very good industry, it's a very big industry, and it is very sad that it has come to this.
The star opening witness was Michael Sullivan, CEO of the giant Darwin-based betting shop Sporting Bet. He claimed 3 Queensland bookies were involved in artificially inflating odds of local horses with the effect of lengthening odds interstate. It's claimed their agents would then lay bets with Sporting Bet and others to make a killing. Sullivan claimed that in one race at Ipswich, Sporting Bet was subject to a plunge on a horse that jumped from 5 to 2 out to 7 to 1. But Sullivan had the last laugh. The horse came nowhere.
Further back in the field came Triple Time.
In a swipe at Queensland racing, Sullivan said the kids are in charge of the school and it's not acceptable. Sullivan was later rigorously cross-examined by lawyers for the bookies, whose names have been suppressed. The inquiry won't begin probing controversial sackings and appointments at Queensland Racing until next week. That aspect has real potential to open a can of worms for the Beattie government.
Alex Smith for Nightline.
The New England Patriots are the toast of the United States tonight, celebrating their 3rd Super Bowl win in 4 years. They downed the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21 in a game peppered with patriotism and personalities.
The biggest show in American sports, 78,000 fans, but not everyone came for the game. And what a party it turned out to be, from Hollywood superstars to former presidents George Bush and Bill Clinton, headlining an act of American patriotism. But the game itself didn't let anyone down. New England and Philadelphia fighting out a thriller.
Touchdown!
The scores locked at half-time when an Englishman came on and stole the spotlight. But when Beatlemania ended, it was back to the football. The Patriots celebrating their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years with a nail-biting 3-point win. Paul Crawley for Nightline.
Next on Nightline, tomorrow's weather details and the inspirational player who stole the show at the Heineken Classic.
Looking for the best range and lowest prices for fishing and camping gear? Then look to Gotcha Tackle and Camping. Gotcha Tackle is your local store wherever you live. Have a look at these examples. Shimano TLD 25 reel $219, Berkeley Fireline less 10%, Penn Spinfisher reels 8500 SS $199, 9500 SS $259, Garmin GPS 72 handheld $299, Akuma Aliax reels all less 20%. These specials have free country delivery. Gotcha Tackle and Camping.
Got ya, you little beauty.
To the national weather, and an afternoon shower or storm for Darwin. Fine in Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra. Morning rain for Melbourne, mainly fine in Hobart. Showers for Adelaide and fine in Perth. Now to the man who finished up the big winner at golf's Heineken Classic, despite taking out 3rd place. But 23-year-old cancer survivor Jared Lyle, a relative newcomer, is adamant he's no one-hit wonder.
With his anonymity restored, Jared Lyle arrived in Auckland today, grateful for the change of pace.
Come back to earth a bit, I think. You know, last night we just went out and had a few beers with family and friends and went out for tea at Crown, and you know, it was just all a little bit surreal.
That casino bash wound up only hours before Lyle made the trip across the Tasman.
Thank you.
Only the scoreboard back at Royal Melbourne denied the gathering victory party status. Regardless, there was a triumph to celebrate.
5 years ago I was half dead lying in the hospital, and you know, to be able to play that tournament, and just a huge thrill for me and my family and all my friends.
This was a rare taste of the good life for the Lyle family, who know only too well how precious and fragile life can be.
So I sat with him beside the hospital bed every day, and he said to me, he said, I want to play golf, and I said, well, get better and strive for your dreams.
Although the Lyle army was made up mainly of conscripts from Shepparton, the man who led the charge against Jared's leukaemia was also there yesterday, his doctor, Keith Waters.
Yeah, I felt very paternalistic. It's almost as though it was one of my own children.
Any tears?
Oh, just about, yes.
Robert Allenby was also in Jared's corner back in those dark days of uncertainty. And although in America at the weekend, Allenby was again in that corner.
I was watching the Golf Channel and watching it live all night. I think I got to bed at about 2:30. It went off around 2. And then it took me about half an hour to get myself to sleep because I was so excited for him.
Lyle tees off in the New Zealand Open this week, buoyed by his efforts at Royal Melbourne. but much more by his achievements beyond the fairways.
Tony Jones for Nightline.
And that is the news for this Monday. Our next bulletin is at 6 a.m. in the Today Show. I'm Helen Kapalos, and from Nightline, good night.
Good to see you. How you doing? Well, I don't need to tell you folks, Sunday is...
Sir, could you return to your seat? We're preparing to land.
Okay, thanks.
All new CSI Miami is back. The only place you'll see it is on Win. New recruits, new attitude.
The evidence will speak for itself.
And a new pair of shades. Returning 8:30 Wednesday night. With a season premiere so intense. One of these CSIs won't survive it. CSI Miami returns Wednesday 8:30 to Win.
My mum's pretty smart, I reckon. She had me in Snuggler's nappies when I was a baby. And now she's done the same with little Zach. It's a smart move because they're comfortable. They work well for all that yucky stuff. Now they've even got grip tabs. And you get a lot of them. That's more nappies for Zach and more left over for the other important things.
Snugglers, isn't it time you changed your nappy? Some gum problems can leave you exposed to the pain of sensitive teeth. Sensodyne Total Care's dynamic action creates a barrier against that pain. Plus, Sensodyne is the only sensitive toothpaste with an antibacterial ingredient to help fight gum disease. So brush with Sensodyne Total Care every day to fight tooth sensitivity, fight decay, and fight gum disease. Sensodyne. Look for the new toothbrush and floss now available.
Win summer safe with Olympian Grant Hackett.
Accidents can happen around water at any time, any place. So even when you're swimming in your backyard pool or at the local pool, be careful and always remain safety conscious.
No matter how confident you are in and around the water, make sure you swim under the supervision of an adult and always check the pool depth before diving in.
Hey kids, be summer safe with Uncle Toby's and Win Television.
And lemon melon, please. Sure. Nice. I said it's nice, isn't it?
And of course, as always, the Will It Float home game is available in better stores.
Exercise regularly. Relax more. Eat good fats. Don't eat bad fats. Use a cleanser. Don't use soap. Smile more. Frown less. Eat smaller portions. Have a big breakfast. Get a tan. Stay out of the sun. Don't get too fat. Don't get too thin. Choosing how to look after yourself isn't always easy. It can be with McCain Healthy Choice. 97% fat-free, and now with choices for the carb-conscious. McCain Healthy Choice is looking after yourself.
Ha! Into baby food. What you do? How about you? What the? More tea! We're done for!
With Mortein Easy Reach Surface Spray, you can kill insects where they hide.
More smart, more safe, more tea.
That's me and my new notebook computer. I have to have one. I flexi-rented it so I could get the model I really needed. And I can update it when the next big thing comes along. Flexi-rent, I think it's fantastic.
Look at this, my new computer, my new way of submitting proposals. I just add a few digital pictures from previous jobs to sell the dream and print out photo quality copies. Cool, eh? Yeah, of course, I flexi-rented it.
More and more people are flexi-renting. With technology moving so fast, it makes sense. Ask anyone at your nearest Harvey Norman computer store.
Got prepaid?
Get prepaid with dial time and win.
It's easy. Top up your prepaid mobile internet account or buy an international calling card at any of these participating outlets. SMS your voucher receipt number and you could score yourself a BenQ MP3 player, Sony Micro Hi-Fi, or even one of 2 fantastic new Hyundai Gets, plus heaps of instant prizes.
Just for topping up your prepaid with dial time? How good is that?
For your nearest dial time outlet and more chances to win, go to club.dialtime.com.au.
Wrinkles are like a boomerang. Just when I think I've got rid of them, they come back. Well, now I don't give them a chance. The new Nivea Visage Anti-Wrinkle Q10. With its highly effective energy complex, increases skin's own energy to visibly reduce the appearance of existing wrinkles and now also new wrinkles. It's proven. New Nivea Visage Anti-Wrinkle Q10. Now more effective than ever.
Because I bet you if you got actual cheese, it would float. Can you get some actual cheese? Let's give some of those like cheese singles.
In the first all-new mystery of the year, a blind girl left the city behind.
Who's there?
Someone followed.
This guy is staking out the campground. He's waiting for his chance.
You wanted her. You wanted her in the worst way.
In one heart-stopping series return.
Look at me. Where is the cap? I want a lawyer.
With 2 people missing, there's no holding back.
Find the truth and bring them home.
New Without a Trace, the season premiere, Wednesday, 9:30.
Morning. Morning. Gee, you got the boss running well. Well, you know, you've got to change their diet when they get to that age. Oh, yeah, that age. That's when they need phytoestrogens, antioxidants and calcium for their bones. Bones? Magnesium, zinc, folate. Rough? Oh, yes, fibre for roughage, too. She likes the taste. Wolf, sit down.
Uncle Toby's Healthwise. Designed for your health, whoever you are. Be Healthwise with Uncle Toby's Healthwise Women 40 Plus, Heart or Bowel and Digestive.
I love living on the coast. I still surf every day. I want to live life to the full. And I try not to let anything stop me. But I'm always careful with the choices I make. So when I read the labels and found some pain relievers shouldn't be used with certain medications, I made sure I spoke to my doctor. Maybe you should too. Panadol, it's my choice.
For over 5 decades now, Victor has been turning grass into lawn for all Australians. Today, as always, every mower in the Victor range is built to handle the harshest of Australian conditions. Tough, sleek, safe and easy to manoeuvre. With advanced mulching technology, it's little wonder they've called their latest model the Tornado.
The new look Camry Sportivo V6 with responsive all-alloy quad-cam engine, sports tune suspension, with aerodynamic body kit and sports seats.
Our next guest stars on the hugely popular television series Lost. Please say hello to Matthew Fox, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Fox. Thank you. We'll be right back with Nancy Griffith, everybody.
Every home has a rhythm of its own. And now there's an air freshener that's in tune with it. New Airwick Freshmatic is an automatic spray you can set at intervals of 9, 18 or 36 minutes. to deliver bursts of fragrance all through the day for up to 60 days. New Airwick Freshmatic. Set it to the rhythm of your home.
Hang on, mate. Dad's turn. Watch Dad.
Debbie, watch me!
Debbie!
Watch this one!
Love the dressing. Amazing. I think it was homemade.
P-R-A-I-S-E, praise salad dressing.
We live on one of the world's driest continents, so protecting your car is more important than ever. And the best way is with the Armour All range, including wash and wax, tyre foam, and original protectant. And remember, when water is scarce, we all have to do our bit.
Just use this, my love.
Oh yeah, right, Pepe. Armour All keeps your car looking like new.
What's cooking? Frittata. Oh, sounds tricky. No, it's easy. Now I whisk these. And what are you going to use for flavour? These new Kraft garlic and herb singles. They're really delicious and they add extra bite.
Your talent's cooking, mine's eating. Try new garlic and herb and cracked pepper Kraft singles now.
There are some things only a parent could know. Only you would know that's Daddy washing the car. Only you would know that Tuesday is Science Project Day. And only you would know what it is they're really reading.
But something I really didn't know is that Kellogg's Cocoa Pops contains no artificial colourings or preservatives and contains 8 vitamins and minerals, including calcium for strong bones and teeth. Kellogg's Cocoa Pops. You learn something new every day.
Thank you, Paul. Our next guest is an acclaimed singer-songwriter whose brand new CD is entitled Hearts in Mind. Here's our good friend, Nancy.
Hey guys, LA is incredible. They actually sell maps that tell you where the stars live around Hollywood. Right now, I'm outside of Julia Roberts' house. Hey, I loved you in Pretty Woman.
Joey, coming in February to win.
At last, a revolutionary product to remove even the toughest stains from your clothes. It's Preen Dual Power Stain Remover. The powerful ingredients are separated into 2 chambers. Chamber 1, active oxygen. Chamber 2, enzyme-powered stain removers. When applied to the stain, the 2 ingredients combine and instantly activate to fizz and foam to start removing the widest range of tough stains before your eyes. Be convinced. Put Preen Dual Power Stain Remover to the test on tough stains. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
My mum's pretty smart, I reckon. She had me in Snuggler's nappies when I was a baby. And now she's done the same with little Zach. It's a smart move because they're comfortable. They work well for all that yucky stuff. Now they've even got grip tabs. And you get a lot of them. That's more nappies for Zach and more left over for the other important things.
Snugglers, isn't it time you changed your nappy?
The greatest gifts under $20. The greatest artists, their greatest music on CD or DVD, now under $20. John Farnham, Elvis, Barbara Streisand, the greatest under $20. Rod Stewart, Neil Diamond, The Seekers, the greatest under $20. Eurythmics, Michael Jackson, and more. Over 30 great artists on CD or DVD, now under $20.
Pura, proud sponsors of the Pura Cup, now give you the chance to win a fantastic Ford Territory all-wheel drive when you buy any 3 Pura milk packs. Perfect if you're after a new car. There are other exciting prizes to be won, so pick up some Pura milk today.
Thank you very much. My thanks to the lovely Nancy Griffith. What a lovely song that was, don't you think? Yes. Matthew Fox.
For more than a decade, ER has continued to surprise you in the weeks ahead. The biggest surprise is how they do it again. And again.
Screw it.
And again.
It's your call. Whoa. You're the doctor.
The biggest season.
I'm in love with you.
The biggest guest stars. Plus.
What the hell is that?
The unexpected. All new ER. Thursday, 8:30 on Win.
At least it's not my fault. That's what everybody keeps telling me. It's not like I haven't seen death before. I see it all the time. It's the same to me.
But not this time.
Her name was Andrea. She was lying there like a little doll.
Interesting choice of words. Like you don't want it to be real.
Hey, I've never had a hard time facing reality before.
Then why deny you're human? God doesn't ask for perfection, Nico.
Pushed her so hard. I made her tell me secrets of her past. About Hamilton.
That's school again.
Yeah. I just can't prove it.
You and I are more alike than you know, Nico. We both look for answers every day. Except I turn my head in a different direction. The woman died by her own hand, not yours. Look around you. This is my world, my sanctuary. I keep it neat and tidy because this is who I strive to be. But inside, I know the truth. I have impure thoughts. I smoke too many cigars. I have a weakness for the bottle.
And not to mention long-legged blondes.
It's in our blood, Nico. The point is, I'm a human being, just as you are.
Thanks, Uncle Nick.
You come anytime. We're family. We look out for each other. And by the way, when you find that son of a bitch who's killing these kids, you be sure you give him a good one from me. Like I said, I have thoughts too.
Detective, will you tell us how you came to meet the accused?
Our homicide unit received an anonymous call that Matthew Cartwright was bragging about killing his wife, Heather, to stop her from cleaning him out during their divorce proceedings. Please. Hey, excuse me. Crown knows better than this, Your Honor. So does Detective Collins.
I'm just trying to paint a clear picture for you here,
well,
Your
I think
Honor.
my friend here is using too wide a brush. Now, if my esteemed colleague is unfamiliar with hearsay rules, I'd be glad to ask for an adjournment and give him some instruction.
You know the rules, Counselor. Have the detective stick to the facts.
Please continue.
Homicide asked me to approach Mr. Cartwright in an undercover capacity to see if he would talk to me about the murder of his wife.
Can you describe your dealings with Mr. Cartwright?
I met Mr. Cartwright at his bar at 11:30 p.m. on the 26th of June. I was playing the role of a prostitute.
Can you please tell the court what he said about the murder of his wife?
Your Honor, at this point, I would like to strongly object to this confession being entered as evidence.
On what grounds?
I have some concerns about how this confession was obtained.
Isn't this what this voir dire is for?
There's a danger of the court being prejudiced, Your Honor.
This is just a preliminary hearing. If I find the confession tainted, I'll strike it. Continue, Counselor.
Detective, can you please relay to the court what Mr. Cartwright told you in the back room of his bar?
He said she took everything I had, but it wasn't enough. She wanted my bar, and there was no way in hell she was getting it. So I choked the bitch to death with one of her fancy bras.
Did you know that Heather was strangled with a brassiere, Detective?
Homicide didn't let me know any of the holdbacks. They wanted me to find out how she was killed on my own.
So the only people that would know that Heather was strangled to death with a brassiere would be Heather. The police and...
The person that killed her.
Remember me?
Oh, God.
I'm the girl you're supposed to meet out front.
Vanessa, I'm sorry. I forgot again.
You know, whenever I try that line, it never works. So how's it adults get away with it?
I'm not an adult. I'm your big sister. Just give me a second. We'll be on our way, okay?
Okay. Who are all these kids?
You know, they're missing kids from around the province, mostly runaways.
This is school?
Yeah, kinda. It was built for troubled teens. It's called Ambleton.
She's about the same age as me, right? What happened to her?
She was strangled. You think? Does your father know where you are?
No.
Hey. Should have called him.
You're starting to sound like my mother.
In the first all-new mystery of the year, a blind girl left the city behind.
Who's there?
Someone followed.
This guy is staking out the campground. He's waiting for his chance.
You wanted her. You wanted her in the worst way.
In one heart-stopping series return.
Look at me. Where is the cab? I want a lawyer.
With 2 people missing, there's no holding back.
Find the truth and bring them home.
New Without a Trace, the season premiere, Wednesday, 9:30.
Got prepaid?
Get prepaid with dial time and win.
It's easy. Top up your prepaid mobile internet account or buy an international calling card at any of these participating outlets. SMS your voucher receipt number and you could score yourself a BenQ MP3 player, Sony Micro Hi-Fi, or even one of 2 fantastic new Hyundai Gets, plus heaps of instant prizes.
Just for topping up your prepaid with dial time? How good is that?
For your nearest dial time outlet and more chances to win, go to club.dialtime.com.au.
Some gum problems can leave you exposed to the pain of sensitive teeth. Sensodyne Total Care's dynamic action creates a barrier against that pain. Plus, Sensodyne is the only sensitive toothpaste with an antibacterial ingredient to help fight gum disease. So brush with Sensodyne Total Care every day to fight tooth sensitivity, fight decay, and fight gum disease. Sensodyne. Look for the new toothbrush and floss now available.
Win summer safe with Olympian Grant Hackett.
Accidents can happen around water at any time, any place. So even when you're swimming in your backyard pool or at the local pool, be careful and always remain safety conscious.
No matter how confident you are in and around the water, make sure you swim under the supervision of an adult and always check the pool depth before diving in.
Hey kids, be summer safe with Uncle Toby's and Win Television.
My office wants me to take a plea if Cartwright will cop to manslaughter.
What?
I know. But if we lose the confession, he'll walk.
Matthew Cartwright killed Sergeant Worthington, a good friend. And we blew our chance to convict him on that. Let's at least get him on his wife's murder. Please. I know I can nail him.
All right.
Thanks. I owe you one.
About that, maybe we could go out and grab some lunch sometime.
You mean like a date? Oh, you do? I think that we're in the middle of the case right now. I mean, it's kind of bad timing.
Well, how about when the voir dire is over, then?
Sure. Okay. You know, I guess.
Great. I'll see you in court.
Okay. Oh, God.
So Nico's dad and I are in the can taking a leak. We have our hands leaning against the wall. Nico's doing the same thing, except Nico's 2 foot tall and the urinal's 3.
Oh, little Nico. Real smooth.
I was 4 for crying out loud.
Cute.
Think about things we've already said. Now where do we go from here? When the lights go off, it all disappears.
Oh, look. Look.
Vanessa.
She's asleep. Wait, it's the cat.
You don't have a cat.
Well, I did.
What if she comes down?
She's not gonna come down. She's a young woman. I think she knows what's going on.
Yeah, I know, but what does she think it means?
It means? No. Is this gonna happen every week? Anytime there's any kind of activity, we're gonna have to take it to your place?
For the time being, I think so, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Detective? You were good in there today.
Yeah. I'm gonna be even better in the cross-examination tomorrow.
That's what scares me. Fortunately, your Crown Attorney doesn't.
Oh, come on, Lewis is okay.
Your definition of okay is kind of liberal, Mickey. I've been up against Lewis 7 times and I still have a perfect record.
Some may say he's due.
Some might say it's a miracle he even passed the bar. And let's not forget that he's already tried to prosecute Matthew Cartwright once before and lost. To me.
So you feel good about getting him up for killing a police officer?
Well, actually, I feel kind of bad about that one. Larry was a good cop.
Yeah, he was an even better person.
Oh, you two were close? It's off the record.
He was my trainer. He took care of me when I was patrolling the skids, you know?
That's why you did the UC on Cartwright?
You sure this is just between us?
Of course. You have my word.
Homicide, they had a dead end with Heather's murder, so they called me in after they got this anonymous call, and they wanted me to find out the truth so they could write off the case.
So, off the record, they opened the envelope? No holds barred, just do whatever it takes to clear the case?
Off the record? Yeah.
Why don't you throw out the rules, Mickey? You can't take a case to court.
Matthew knew the contents of the whole box.
So?
So he told me he killed her and how. Larry Worthington had 2 months before retirement.
So this is all about revenge.
Call it what you want. Cartwright deserves to rot in jail, and you know it.
Hey, Sid.
Oh,
I got a call from your office. Me and Bronson owe you. What are you drinking?
Thanks, Nico. Another time. Whew. Well, that's it for me. Kids, have a good night.
Thanks.
You defending a case you're working?
Hell, he's defending me. An assault beef with Bronson from drugs about 3 years back. Sid turned it all around. Good guy, that Sid. Yeah.
Oh my God! What are you people to do?
Oh, real drama.
Oh.
Hey, Nico! Hey, pull a chair, eh? Have a drink.
You're not 20 anymore. What are you doing?
Don't worry, I have somebody looking after me. Hey, laddie, have a drink. I like you, man.
The cops been on my ass ever since the guy got killed in my bar.
That guy, Matthew, was a cop.
And I knew that? He was hammered. I was within my rights to throw him out of my bar.
You kicked him to death.
I was defending myself.
You truly believe that?
Thanks to you, the court did. And that's all that matters.
So no plea?
I didn't do it. All I got is Collander's word against mine.
Well, Collander's a cop. Her word carries a little more weight than yours.
Look, you know what really happened that night. And since you're my lawyer, you can't tell anyone. So go in there and do what I'm paying you for.
Were you and Mr. Cartwright drinking that night?
We had a couple.
And what would you define as a couple?
Maybe 4.
Well, according to the bar tab, a couple is 7.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not surprised after 7 drinks. I mean, you were trying to get him to soften up, were you not? That's why all the liquor, the way he dressed, why you kept coming on to him?
I guess you could say that.
Oh, are there any tapes of your conversation with Mr. Cartwright that night?
I didn't wear a wire.
Really? I could be wrong, but isn't it department policy in situations like this to wear a wire?
Yes.
But you didn't. Why?
I didn't want to take the chance that he would feel anything.
So you were prepared to let Mr. Cartwright touch you?
That's not what I meant.
Do you often let suspects touch your private parts?
I meant accidental touching.
I see. You and the policeman that was killed in Mr. Cartwright's bar, Sergeant Worthington, you were close friends, isn't that correct? I mean, isn't it a fact that you and Sergeant Worthington were so close that you would have done anything to catch his killer?
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that you coerced Mr. Cartwright through sexual favors to get him to say whatever you wanted him to.
Objection.
Unless, of course, you fabricated this entire confession, all to avenge the death of your mentor.
Objection, objection. There's no substance to this.
Goes to the heart of the confession, Your Honor.
Objection denied.
Is it not true that your intent was to open the envelope? To do whatever it takes to find out what happened, even if that meant breaking the law?
Objection.
Overruled. Answer the question, Detective.
Yes.
And when you open the envelope, your intention is not to take a case to court, but rather write it off. Isn't that true, Detective?
Yes. But everything I've said is true.
Well, lie for a living. How do we know you're telling the truth now? No further questions, Your Honor. I have one final question for you, Mr. Cartwright. Did Detective Collender have sex with you?
You're damn right we did. And she was coming on to
Just answer yes or no, please.
Yes, she did. I mean, we did.
Your Honor, to say that this supposed confession is tainted would be an understatement. Therefore, I move that Detective Collander's testimony be deemed inadmissible and request a no evidence motion.
Your Honor.
I've heard enough, Counselor. Enough doubt has been raised surrounding the confession to deem it inadmissible. As Detective Collander's statement is the key piece of evidence, no confession means no charge. Case dismissed.
Morning. Gee, you got the bots running well. Well, you know, you've got to change their diet when they get to that age. Oh, yeah, that age. That's when they need phytoestrogens, antioxidants, and calcium for their bones. Bones? Magnesium, zinc, folate. Rough. Oh, yes, fibre for roughage, too. She likes the taste. Wolf, sit down.
Uncle Toby's Healthwise. Designed for your health, whoever you are. Be Healthwise with Uncle Toby's Healthwise Women 40 Plus, Heart or Bowel and Digestive.
I love living on the coast. I still surf every day. I want to live life to the full. And I try not to let anything stop me. But I'm always careful with the choices I make. So when I read the labels and found some pain relievers shouldn't be used with certain medications, I made sure I spoke to my doctor. Maybe you should too. Panadol, it's my choice.
Ha! In the baby food. What you do? How about you? What the? More tea? We're done
multi-reach surface spray, you can kill insects where they hide.
More smart, more safe, more tea.
We wanted to make sure Cartwright was the killer, so we opened the envelope, but nobody told her to sleep with him.
I didn't sleep with anyone.
You should have told me you were tight with Worthington.
We weren't dating. He was my friend.
Whatever. I'm gonna have to bring IA in on this.
Why?
Because you got a habit of sleeping around, or have you forgotten Bailey Gallinson?
You son of a bitch.
All right, that's enough, you two. Mickey, they'll be wanting a statement best you get started.
What's up, Sheila?
It's about your Uncle Nick.
Yeah?
We had a lot to drink. And, well, we sort of, you know.
So he'll do a few Hail Marys on Sunday.
Your uncle won't be going to church on Sunday, Nico.
Well, at least he looks happy.
I can assure you, he was.
Jesus, this is not where he was meant to go. What am I gonna tell my folks?
What am I gonna tell my boyfriend?
Boyfriend? Nice.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move Uncle Nick back to the rectory. We're gonna put him in his room. No one's the wiser.
Could work.
And no one breathes a word of this ever again.
Deal.
All right, let's get him dressed. You gonna help out here, or shall I ask your boyfriend?
Crown never should have gone ahead with charges.
Well, you know, maybe not. But Mickey here got a stone-cold confession of the murder of his wife. Lewis figured it was worth a shot.
Thank God Sid's not pushing this. Anybody else be suing the pants office?
Wait a minute. I did not sleep with this asshole.
Oh, wearing a wire would have helped.
You don't believe me?
No, I didn't say that. But it's an adversarial system. Now, you know as well as I do that cops are fair game on the stand, just like lawyers are fair game in the box.
Hey, what I told Sid was off the record.
What do you mean, what you told Sid?
About opening the envelope. I told him that as a friend.
Once you set foot in that courtroom, he's the enemy.
Yeah, well, now he's the enemy outside of court, too, isn't he?
As far as I'm concerned, you brought this on yourself.
My reputation here.
You mean our reputation?
Sorry.
What about an appeal?
It won't do much good. This whole sex thing and you knowing Sergeant Worthington is hard to get around. And how the hell did Sid find out about opening the envelope?
I didn't sleep with Matthew Cartwright. You know that.
Sure.
I gotta go.
Well, what about lunch?
Maybe some other time.
Hey, come on, will you hold him up?
He's been dead for, what, 12 hours?
What does that matter?
Well, rigor mortis is gonna start coming out, and then comes the bad part.
Knock it off with the postmortem stuff, all right? That part?
Well, he's gonna start to smell.
Great.
I'm just saying, we gotta move. A smelly corpse showing up out of the blue is gonna raise a few eyebrows.
Jesus, I forgot. The church is having a bake sale this weekend.
Well, how long are they gonna be here?
All day tomorrow. We gotta come back the day after.
The day after? Your uncle's gonna be pretty ripe by then.
We gotta keep him cool. You still volunteering in forensics?
Laura's got the day off tomorrow.
Okay.